Yeah. Yes, good to go.
Yes, ma'am, you can start.
Good afternoon, one and all. Honorable Vice Chancellor, Lieutenant General Dr. Rajan S. Grewal, Honorable Dean Sir, SMIMS, Professor Dr. Murlidhar Pai, Principal Professor Dr. Nikita Joshi Sonowal, our faculty members, students, and our esteemed resource person, Dr. Parvet Sheikh, a very hearty good afternoon to all of you. I, Dr. Binita Pradhan, welcome you all on this auspicious occasion. We are conducting this unique international webinar on entrepreneurship in sports. Unique because today's webinar is not about enriching your skills and knowledge about physiotherapy, but it is about entrepreneurship, a topic that we seldom know about. And who better than our Dr. Parvet Sheikh to enlighten us about it? It gives me immense pleasure to introduce Dr. Sheikh. He hails from Surat in Gujarat and has obtained his degree in physiotherapy from Rajiv Gandhi University of Health Sciences, Karnataka in 2006. As most of the successful people have humble beginnings, Dr. Parvez Sheikh also had something similar. He started as a physiotherapy assistant in a private clinic, but the experience nurtured him to become a great physiotherapist, and in 2007, he was appointed as the head of rehabilitation of a sports club. Soon after, in 2008, he pursued his diploma in sports training and clinical exercise from National Academy of Sports Medicine, USA. Till present, he is an authorized distance faculty for National Academy of Sports Medicine, United States. In the same year, he moved to Oman and started his work there as a unit manager in the sports division in the private company. And by 2011, Sir had completed his MBA and he had started his own company by the name of 5D LLC. So his company basically works in the field of sports, training and rehabilitation. He owns sports centers and conducts training camps and runs sports academies and player development programs. He has traveled to more than 25 countries to conduct programs of his company, and he has his offices all over Oman, United Arab Emirates, Saudi, Kuwait, and Portugal. He is actively involved in most social works for our Indian community in Oman. So without further delay, sir, I would like to hand over the talk to you. So, sir, Dr. Parvet Sheikh, we welcome you. A hearty welcome, sir.
Hi, good afternoon to all. Thank you, Dr. Binita, for lovely introduction. Yeah, it was a big introduction. Nevertheless, I think we have lost a lot of time in the technical glitches, and I think we should start soon. I just want to make sure the audio is audible. We are audible.
Yes, sir, it's audible.
Yeah, so we can start, and I will start with the screen share. So to make it much easier for all of us. Yeah, okay. All right. My screen is visible, right?
Yes, sir, it's visible.
It's visible.
Yes, sir, it's visible to all of us.
Right. So good afternoon, everyone. I'm sorry for the delay. The delay was because of the technical errors we had, and we have managed to fix it. To all my students, the physiotherapy students and colleagues, senior members on board at the moment, I thank you very much to give me this opportunity to present myself in front of you. The subject today is a bit unique, and as much as the field of entrepreneurship is interesting, the studies of entrepreneurship is always considered to be a bit slow and boring. But what I have done is I have tried to make it as simple as possible. I have not used any technical or hard-hitting words to make it more confusing. I have brought down to the level of beginners, and I'm sure you will enjoy this session. The whole purpose of this program is to make you understand how a physiotherapist can actively get involved into entrepreneurship. And it's not a rocket science. It's not something alien, which we usually consider it to be. And let's see how it goes. So The agenda of the session is, I just want 3 points to be instilled in all the listener by the end of the program. And if I successfully, manage to instill these 3 points in the among you, I will consider myself as successful. So the first point which I want you to understand by the end of the program is awareness. Awareness on what entrepreneurship is. The second point is the process of entrepreneurship, how it goes, and the opportunities available for we physiotherapists in the field of entrepreneurship. And help me to be actively involved in the session. And by the end of the program, if I manage to instill these 3 points within you, I'll consider myself as successful. Am I audible? Am I my screen is visible? Because I am not getting any feedback.
Yes, sir. They are all on mute, sir.
Right. All right. Perfect. So
at the end of the session, sir, we will tell them to unmute and have a question and answer session, sir.
Right. Right. All right. Okay. Perfect. So this is the agenda of today's session. I will go a bit fast because we have lost a lot of time. I don't know. I still have 1 hour to do it, or we'll have to wrap up earlier than that.
So a little bit early would be good, sir.
Okay,
if it's possible with you, sir.
I will go a bit fast, but I will still keep it simple. Okay. Now, before getting into the subject, let's come out of the subject and understand what is happening around us. The world in last 3 decades has changed so exponentially. Everything around us has changed. When we talk about economy, what was there 20, 30 years back is completely changed. It has ever grown. It is growing, and we are in the richest period of the history, as the technical gurus or the business guru says. We are in the richest time human history ever had. Financing for the projects for the to make our ideas into reality has become easier now. Transformation has taken a multifold growth. Things which were not available 30 years back are available now. For example, if you talk about say telephone or internet services, which were not very well developed 30 years back, is developed. So transformation of the technology is taking place at very high pace. Opportunities, with the advancement of economy and transformation, the opportunities are multifold. The opportunities which we had 10, 20, 30 years back, we have more opportunities now for every one of us to participate in. How the pace is same as the pace of my presentation at the moment is. It's quick. The money is transacting very fast. Like while we are sitting and talking on the video conferencing, there are signal passing around us. The telecommunication signal, the transaction signals. People are paying through Paytm to each other. The transactions, the money is always flowing around us, and it is happening very fast. Technology, yes, I mean, there's no question into it. Technology, the changes what technology has brought in last 20, 30 years is huge. Everything is on fingertips. Not like before when, in the college days, like 16 years back when I was a student of physiotherapy. If my lecturer gives me one subject to find out details from, I'll go to library, surf 3-4 books, get the topic done. So it was so hectic and time consuming, but now it's on fingertips. So technology is huge. Accessibility, yes, accessibility has increased. Now I'm sitting in Middle East and I'm presenting a session to students sitting in Sikkim and Nepal. So accessibility has gone huge turnaround. Everybody is accessible now, and in the matter of few seconds. It's faster than the imagination, actually. Okay, so what are the major factors which has brought this change so fast? I wanted to show you what changes happening around us. What happens usually, we get complacent in the life that we are living, and we forget that what is happening around us. So I just wanted to make you feel that around us the things are moving very fast, isn't it? It's moving very fast, and we should understand what are the factors which has brought this change so fast. The technical guru says that in last 3 decades, the amount of change which has happened is faster than last 3,000 years. So the changes has happened so fast in last 3 decades. We should know why this changes have come. Why the changes have come? It has come because of few crazy people, few innovative crazy people who thought the things can be done in much more smarter and a faster way. Like for example, 30 years back, if somebody tell me that I'll be sitting in my bedroom and order the food, and food would be at my doorstep in 30 minutes, it would have sounded a bit crazy, isn't it? Or 30 years back, somebody would have told me that I will just sit in the car, put my coordinates in the for the destination location, and the car will take me to my destination. Would be like something like a sci-fi movie, but it's possible now because some crazy people thought, yeah, there's a possibility. Let's try to work on it, and they have done it, and that has changed the life so fast for all of us. Like e-commerce, anybody, like even a guy from a small village can now afford and has an accessibility to buy anything from anywhere in the world. So the things which has gone crazily changed is because of few people who have revolutionized the whole process. Their thought process, their risk taking has changed the complete world. Now, let us understand few of the example of this change makers. If I talk about the change makers in last 2 decades, who are the very famous names? There are multiple. There are a huge number of lists who have done the changes from small to big. But some big names which comes to my mind is, actually I wanted the chat screen to be on so somebody can tell me. I mean, I wanted to be an interactive session, but I think it's not possible because the other screen is not working. So let me answer it for you. He is none other than Mr. Bill Gates, right? So Bill Gates is the founder of Microsoft. We are using Microsoft Team now. So this guy, when computer was made first, everybody was very happy. Like, okay, we have a computer now. Computing has become very easy. A lot of big communication, complicated calculation can be done through computer. But this guy probably thought, okay, we have a computer. It's doing computing. How about if we create a operating system which allows us to use different applications, which allows us to write, save, share. And this guy, along with his partners, founded a software operating system which has changed the computing forever for every one of us. Okay, the second change maker, which I feel which should be highly regretted, should be commended, is I know there is no chat screen, so I would not ask you the question. He is none other than Mr. Jeff Bezos. He is the founder of Amazon. He was the person while he was using his library, he was finding it very difficult to access all the books within the library. So what he thought is, I'll bring all the books onto digital format and I'll sell the books. This is how Amazon started. Now Amazon is almost everywhere in the world. They sell anything from small pin to the parts of aeroplane. So he has changed the scenario of e-commerce business completely. And thanks to him, the accessibility of the things, movement of the things all around the world has become very easy. So he's one of the major change maker in the society in last 2 decades. Everyone knows him, Mr. Ambani. Okay. He has done a lot of things in terms of refineries, petrochemical, textile. But I am, acknowledging him here as a founder of Jio, because in India, the internet revolution has come after Jio introduction. It has become so affordable. It is accessible to all. So internet revolution within India is the the blessing of Mr. Ambani. His crazy thought that he will give unlimited internet to everyone at very nominal price of less than 500 rupees, and everybody has internet now. It's amazing. If you see, it's amazing, and the kind of change which has come after the internet exploration is huge in India. Steve Jobs, so when computer was made, Steve Jobs is the founder of Apple, as we all know. When computer was made, operating system was made, somebody thought, why computer has to be so boring, why it has to be so complex. So, he created Apple computers, he created software called Macintosh, and the outlook of the computing industry has completely changed. Thanks to him, the smartphones have become so smarter. His operating system, Macintosh, iOS, and the Apple computers are the best models. The technical equipments have become a compact and a beautiful personal appliances now, thanks to designers like him. So these are the change makers who have changed it. And what is common among all of them? There's something common among all of them. they were all crazy. They're all innovators. They were visionaries. They thought of future and changed life for all of us forever. They were all entrepreneurs. They were all entrepreneurs. They took the risk, and that is what we are going to learn now: entrepreneurship. All right. So what is entrepreneur? Now, entrepreneur is a word which has come from a French word, and the proper pronunciation is entrepreneur. When the French people speak, I personally believe, as Shakespeare said, what's there in the name. So you call it as entrepreneur, or in Indian accent, entrepreneur. Everything is fine. What is important is we understand the concept, what exactly entrepreneur is. An entrepreneur is basically, there's a very thin line of difference between a businessman and an entrepreneur. Entrepreneur is a risk taker who have an idea, who take the risk, who mobilize the resources and turn his idea into reality. So it's like doing a business, but in business what happens is business is a conventional way of doing it, usually doing the same thing what is already happening. Entrepreneurship is related more to bringing a new idea or improvisation in the existing business model. Plus, in entrepreneurship, the reward at the end is not necessarily be a financial. It can be a non-financial reward. It can be a social change. It can be an emotional change which entrepreneur bring in, which makes life much easier. It is with the focus of helping the end user, entrepreneurship. And with it, either it could be an economical gain or a non-economical gain. So this is a basic difference between an entrepreneur and a businessman. We'll go deep into details of it. I'm going a bit fast, sorry for that. Time constraint. I would have loved to explain you in detail, but let's go a bit fast on the introductions part. So then we can spend more time on how it affects and how we can exploit this in our field of physical therapy. Now, entrepreneurship, what is it? Big definition, don't look into it. I'll just make it easy for you. What is the process of entrepreneurship? An entrepreneur create an entrepreneurship. It is a process. Now, what is the process? You have an idea, okay? You got an excellent idea. Now, all of us have an idea, but few of us put it into effect. So you have an idea, say the idea which is targeted to fulfill an opportunity or to solve a problem in the market. Then you assemble the resources. If you have an idea, for example, let's say we want to create an application for patients who have been just recently discharged from the hospital after a bypass surgery, and we want to create an application for such patient to do a self assessment, and if they find themselves below the score in the assessment, they can contact the rehabilitation team. So suppose this is the idea we got. Now what we need for this, we need a person to design an application, we need funds, we need a marketing strategy, we need a platform, Android or iOS, where we'll put it. So these are the resources required to turn this idea into reality. So this is what is called assembling the resources. Okay. Third thing is you put it forward, you go live, you put your product which you have created to the public, to the market, or to the target segment for which you have planned it. So that is when you launch it, and when you launch it, there is a process of operation. Like when you launch something, you have to do marketing of it, you have to manage the finance, you have to manage the logistics of it. If it's a physical product, you have to make sure that it goes from point 1 to point B. There's a branding of it required. So the whole process of business. So this particular portion is called business. Okay, so when you launch a venture, when you launch your idea into reality for the people to receive it, there are a lot of back end operation which is taking place. For example, you are into Manipal College now. Now, Sikkim Manipal College is for student. It's a place where they go and study. But then behind that, there's a principal who's taking stress of administration. There are the CEOs and finance head who are making sure that the finances are managed well, which can be put forward into development of the education system, the infrastructure. There is an IT department who's helping us. There is an HR department who is helping us in procurement. There is a salary department. There is a logistic department for taking care of the transfer. So whole the process which goes behind is a part of when you launch the venture. There is a process to be understood. We will go in details into it if time permits, but then just to make you feel that what happens at the background of any product or services which comes in front of us. Then if you are successfully able to launch and execute your project, there's a harvesting phase, but there's a reward. This reward can, as I told you before, it could be a financial reward or non-financial reward. And then you take a decision what to do next, whether to reinvest in the business or to exit from the business. This is in basic, the concept of entrepreneurship. So when somebody tells you what is entrepreneurship, now you know, okay, entrepreneurship is an idea, collecting the resources, launching it for the end user, and then gaining the rewards. This is the whole process of entrepreneurship. Now the question is, 100 million question is, can a physiotherapist, a physical therapist can be an entrepreneur? Now, what is the common perception? And actually, I wanted to ask you a question. Why did you choose physical therapy? But then I know we don't have the access. I don't have an access to the chats screen now at the moment. So the common perception, to be very frank, is negative. When the word entrepreneurship comes, when a physical therapist say that I am an entrepreneur as well, the common perception is negative, which I feel when I have few colleagues of mine who are physical therapists and entrepreneur, but the conventional world doesn't see it as a very in a very bright light. What happens when I started my entrepreneurship journey, I was told, why did you choose physical therapy as a course when you wanted to do a business? Or why did you waste it as seed? It's a noble profession. You should not be looking for money. That's fine. I mean, and okay, now the perception is negative. It is changing now. People, more and more physical therapists, doctors, and medical professionals are coming to entrepreneurship. But common perception as far as the entrepreneurship is concerned, it is very negative. What is happening is people think that entrepreneurship and physical therapy or a medical care professional are two different tracks and they cannot be same. But I will explain to you by the end of the session that it is not different. You can still be a physical therapist. You can still continue to become an entrepreneur. Okay, I mean, there are a lot of studies. There are a lot of, if you just Google it, you will find there are a lot of studies which says that the medical profession and the business lobby, they don't go hand to hand. There is a definite gap between the training of a medical professional in terms of entrepreneurship. Now we have seen the whole world is changing because of few risk takers, few entrepreneurs. The whole world has changed. The society has changed. The pace of the change is so fast. Unless and until we don't also follow the same pace, we will lag behind. And it is happening. It is unfortunate. The physiotherapy as a profession is pacing at very slow pace, and which is unfortunate. So we will have to break this stigma. We'll have to break this taboo of medical professional being getting into entrepreneurship, and it's easy by inducting more training sessions, more awareness, more creating more opportunities, and showing students and the existing professionals that you have another option also to get into it. And this session is actually a small effort in the same direction. Okay, now let's play a game. I know there cannot be a game because I don't get the feedback from you guys. So let's guess some celebrities, okay, to make it easier to understand what I want to convey. Everybody knows him. Yeah, he is a very famous surgeon, Dr. Devi Shetty. I don't see the chat screen. I would have asked you to answer. But anyways, Dr. Devi Shetty, who is he? He's a famous surgeon. Everybody knows him. I mean, he is one of the person who has changed the cardiac surgery in India forever. Very famous again, our favorite Virat Kohli. He's a cricketer. Shah Rukh Khan. Yeah, Shah Rukh Khan is a well-known Bollywood actor, recognizable everywhere in the world. Mr. Narayan Murthy, he is an engineer. Okay. Now, what is common in all the celebrities? Yeah, they are all celebrities. They are very famous. They are very successful. They are rich. They have brought in change in their own fields. The common thing among them is they're all entrepreneurs. So what I wanted to tell you is, what I want you to understand is, if a surgeon, a cricketer, an actor, and an engineer be an entrepreneur at the same time doing very well in their own industry, why can't a physiotherapist be a good physiotherapist and an entrepreneur? Does it make sense? Yeah, it makes sense. It makes sense because we have seen many successful stories wherein a surgeon, an actor, an engineer, a philosopher, a writer has continued to be very successful in his own or her field and has at the same time contributed the society becoming an entrepreneur. The same thing applies to physiotherapist also. So physiotherapy or physical therapy is no the word entrepreneur is not an alien word for us. We can still be a very good physiotherapist and try our luck in entrepreneurship if we have the traits for it. Why it is very important to have entrepreneurs in the society. Entrepreneurship is important for society, and society is important for entrepreneurship. Why? Because when you do entrepreneurship, it contributes in nation's wealth. When the business happens, the income goes into the market, the overall economy improves. There are industries, there are factories, there are productions, there are services. So the whole economy of the country improves. There are more and more inventions happening because to do an entrepreneurship, you need to be more innovative. You need support from technology. The newer business opportunities increases. For example, say when Uber started the services, it was an excellent entrepreneurial project. When Uber started, the drivers got the opportunity to work, so employment got generated. Then there is a GPS devices which got in all the Uber cars, so there's a different business opportunity created for a GPS manufacturing company. So similarly, when one business grows, the parallel business also grows with it. So it is important that entrepreneurship flourish in the country for the development of economy. At the same time, when the economy improves, the finance improves. People get job, people get money rotates in the market. There are more and more investments, and there is more and more growth. So entrepreneurship is an unavoidable process within the society for its development. Social changes happen, which happens when you get into the process of entrepreneurship. There are a lot of social changes happen. You create jobs, you create employment, you solve the social problems, and you create the opportunity for a new members in the society to try their venture into entrepreneurship. Okay, then we have psychological importance of entrepreneurship. Everybody of us have an idea. Everybody of us wants to be independent. Entrepreneurship is the process which provides the platform to try our intelligence, to try our innovations into reality. It helps us to express ourselves and be independent. So this is what are the importance of entrepreneurship. In short, I have just made it very shortly so you all understand that why you need to be an entrepreneur, why entrepreneurship is required in the society, and what is the importance. There are a lot of categories on how you can explain entrepreneurs and entrepreneurship. There are 8-9 different categories, and each category has different subcategories. I have just jotted down the most important ones. Time constraint will go very fast on it. So one is, it makes you independent. If you want to be independent, be an entrepreneur. It gives reward. Financial, non-financial. It's like you can get kind of a work satisfaction. If you have something in you, you have a thought process. I want to do this change in the society. I want to earn this much. Be an entrepreneur. It helps you to give you a huge rewards at the end of the process if you successfully manage to do it. Involvement. Now, when you talk about involvement, when you become an entrepreneur, you become involved in the whole process. Now, for example, if you're working in a physiotherapy clinic in a hospital, you are involved only into the process of physiotherapy department. But when you start your own business, when you become an entrepreneur, you get involved into hiring, you become involved into finance, you become involved into logistics, you become involved into IT, you become involved into marketing. So your involvement increases. So if you want to involve yourself into a lot of things, become an entrepreneur. It helps it gives you a position. You become your own boss, okay, and then you become the in charge of the show. So it gives you a position, and the satisfaction of designation comes when you get involved as yourself into an entrepreneurship. Definitely wealth. Now there is a difference between being rich and being wealthy. Now rich is you earn and you spend and you finish it. Wealth is the creation of an asset. What happens when you start your own business? If it goes well, you create an equity. Now this equity can be either be sold off to earn money, or you leave it as a to your next generation to pass on. So you create wealth by doing an entrepreneurship process. Now, as I told you before, that the reward in the entrepreneurship need not be a financial gain. It can be a value gain also. So that is one, but the potentiality of earning wealth is huge when you do an entrepreneurial process. Contribution, you contribute to the society. You create some product, you create some services, which helps at the end to the public, which helps to the society. So you have a huge possibility of doing a contribution from your side in the society. You improvising your knowledge because you get involved into a lot many processes. You improvise in your knowledge, you put your knowledge into the action. This is one of the advantage, and you bring the change in the society. That's very important. So when entrepreneurs are people who bring the change in the society, they are the market pullers. They are the drives which give pace to the economical financial change in the market, and through which everybody gets helped. Type of entrepreneurship, we'll go very fast on this. Small scale entrepreneurship. This is basically small clinics, what we do, or grocery shop, a boutique, a consultant. A small clinic can be categorized into the small business entrepreneurship. Large business entrepreneurships are business which involves a lot of people, complex management, like your university is a large business entrepreneurship. Your big corporate hospitals are the large business entrepreneurship. Big companies like Google, Microsoft, those are the big, large business entrepreneurship. Each of this can be explained in detail. We don't have time, and this is not the right platform, but if required in future we will try to learn more about it. Social entrepreneurship, you do your non-profit organization, NGOs, for the health or the welfare of the society, for the for a particular region or particular segment of people. For example, a particular village has cases of, say, particular disease, and an NGO comes up with the program wherein they create the resources and then help them. This is called social entrepreneurship. Scalable startup, a small idea which can be scaled to a multitude wherein the whole world can be influenced. Maybe a digital application or a product which is scalable to be shared or to be sold in the complete, the bigger, larger market portion is called scalable startups, wherein the profit returns are huge. Innovative entrepreneurship, you design something new, you innovate the process, and such entrepreneurship process or projects are called innovative entrepreneurship. Imitator entrepreneurship is like you already have a project or you already have a business model, and you imitate it. You imitate the concept, but you customize it for the region or the target audience for which you are trying to implement. For example, Flipkart is an imitation of Amazon. You talk Ola is an imitation of Uber, but those people have customized the imitation for the need and the application in Indian market. Similarly, like Swiggy is the imitation of other international food delivery brands. Research entrepreneurship. Now there are some entrepreneurs who do get into detailed research. They do market surveys. They understand the logic. They do a lot of calculation, and then they come to the market. So this is one form of entrepreneurship. I think need not to go in detail, but all our physiotherapy ventures, all our physical therapy ventures can be one of it, and I will show you how. Now, opportunities for the physiotherapist, yes, there are enormous. Before you venture out into entrepreneurship, you should know that there are some questions which you should put to yourself. Are you ready for it? What are your motivation for owning a business? It's like it looks fancy. It looks fancy to have your own business. You have your own clinic, but there are a lot of risk involved into it, which you should be aware of, and you should be very confident in your target, in your idea, in your goal to make it successful. So you should ask the question to yourself: what are my motivation for owning a business? Should I start or buy a business? Should I start a business from scratch or a clinic from scratch, or I buy the existing business of someone, and then innovate it in my way? That is also possible. What and where is the market for what I want to sell? For example, you design exercise equipment in your innovative entrepreneurship project, and then you should know where I would sell it. You design and you are not able to sell it, or you don't know where it will be sold. It is of no use. So you should know where it is sellable, where the opportunity lies. How much will be the cost of the product? You should know the finance behind it. How much will it cost? What will be the marketing cost? What will be the transport cost, and what will be the cost to the customer? So this all calculation you should have in before you, like for example, you say I will create a diagnostic machine. Well, it is good, but is it accessible, or is it will it be affordable to the mass to whom I'm planning to sell? So the backward calculation is important. Should my business be domestic or global? You want to do something for a specific region or a country, or you want to make it global? Those are also important questions to understand to see how scalable your business model is. For example, you create, you create a product which is good for Indian market, but which might not be good for European or North American market. So you should know whether this product is scalable or not. And there are other relevant questions which you should answer yourself before venturing into entrepreneurship. Sorry. Okay, now what are the characteristics required to become a good entrepreneur in the field of physical therapy? Excuse me. Okay, now first and foremost, you should be a good physical therapist before becoming anything else. You are into the field of physiotherapy. You are a student. You are a physical therapist. You are a lecturer. You need to be good in your subject. There is no other alternative. Unless and until you are not good in your subject, you cannot add on the other perspective of becoming an entrepreneur in the field. So your knowledge on the subject, your practical skills, your ability to understand the need of your customers, of your patients is very important. So first and foremost, you should be a good physical therapist. And then you need this spatial traits. You should be able to understand the opportunities where the opportunities lies. You should be a risk taker. You should be visionary. You should be passionate. You should be a change maker. This all traits. If you think you have it in you, yes, the entrepreneurship journey is for you. If you think no, these are too risky, this is not for me, because not everybody is same. We don't have all the fingers in the hand are different. You can continue to be a good physical therapist. Be there in the pure science. Don't involve entrepreneurship into your in your efforts. You can stay away from it. But then if you think that you have all this traits within you, entrepreneurship in physical therapy, you should try. So if you have both the characteristics, yes, you can become an entrepreneurial physical therapist who will be knowledgeable, flexible, resilient, creative, and have the ability to seize the opportunity. I mean, the whole idea is to seize an opportunity and convert it into reality for the gains, ultimately. Yeah. So if you have these traits in you, yes, you can venture into it. Both are important. I have never said that, a pure science physical therapy is bad, but you should also know that what are the risks involved if you venture into physical therapy and entrepreneurship together. So the efforts remain like for a normal conventional physiotherapy job. You render your services to the hospital, home care, or institute. That's a job pattern. And entrepreneur model, you create your own clinic, you create your own home care, or you associate with somebody in creating the thing. Income is fixed and limited in the conventional model, whereas there is no limit to the income, but there is no certainty. So if you are ready to venture into business, wherein you don't have a fixed salary, you don't know whether you'll be winning it with the financial gain or not, or you will be you will lose everything at the end. You should take the risk after understanding the risk involved. Risk is less in the conventional job, risk is high in the entrepreneurial process. Creative independence is less when you are into job. When you are working for somebody else, you have less creative independence. For example, if you're working as a physiotherapist in a hospital, you have to listen to your seniors, you have to listen to the treating surgeon or a consultant, whereas when you have your own clinic or your own setup, your own business, the decision lies in you. Okay, and the knowledge of other domains is not very much necessary when you are into a specific job with a limited responsibility, whereas when you do your own entrepreneurial journey, you need to have experience of other domains as well, money management, marketing management, branding, and all this stuff. Opportunities to bring change in the society is limited when you are into a restricted job domain, whereas as an entrepreneur, the opportunity is huge. Let us understand the process. Now, whatever you do, whether you start your own clinic, whether you create a product, whether you create a chain of business, whether you become a consultant, the process of entrepreneurial journey is same. Whether you are into IT field, or you are into healthcare, or you are into service providing industry, the process of entrepreneurship remains unchanged. This is the roadmap of a entrepreneurship process. So first and foremost is you need an idea. If you have an idea, you do brainstorming on it 100 times, 1000 times, whatever time it requires, but then you make sure that the idea is scalable, the idea is doable. Whatever the missing links are, whatever the resource required, you do idea in beginning, and then you put it on the roadmap of entrepreneurship. Then you do a market research, which is very important. As I told you, you create something, you have an idea, but you should know whether the market is ready for the thing or not. If not ready, what can be done to change the market perception towards this idea? Then you arrange the resources. You create your own business. You register your business. You arrange the funds. You hire the team required. You hire the space required, and then you get into the process. Then you launch your product. You brand it. You market it. Now, we have seen a lot of physiotherapy clinic do everything till stage 3, but then when it comes to stage 4, unfortunately, we are lagging here. I have not seen any single physical therapy chain or brand which is very popular. For example, if I put a logo of Pizza Hut, a cap, people will recognize it as a Pizza Hut logo. If I put a logo of, say, even the IPL teams, if I put a KKR, that Knight helmet, people realize also it's an IPL team. The branding, this is called branding. Whereas there is no clinic which I am aware of, which if it comes to me, I would be able to recognize, okay, this is this physiotherapy clinic. No, like Manipal has logo. Even as any student who is not even into who's not studying into Manipal, but seeing the logo, they will realize, okay, this is Manipal logo, because they have created the brand. The branding is very important, which unfortunately physiotherapists are lagging behind, and this should be missing link should be addressed, and it is addressable. It is not rocket science here. Then once you launch, you do branding and marketing. Then there is a sales and there is a growth. So when sales and growth happens, then you decide what to do. So then it come then you come to the next stage of harvesting. You have done sales, you have seen the growth. Now you have gained the rewards. Now next step, you have to plan whether to continue to reinvest in the business, to develop the business, bring in more innovation to business, or exit out of the business. So this is the process which applies to all form of business in all the modules in all the industries. The process of entrepreneurship remains unchanged. Okay, now let us come to the interesting topic of clinical opportunities. So, okay, now everything is changing so fast around us. Unfortunately, the physiotherapy clinics are not. I'm sorry to say that. I'm a physiotherapist. I'm a proud physiotherapist. I still practice. But then clinics, 20 years back when I was first year student, the clinic what I had in my college, and a couple of years back I went back to my college. The clinic is same, same shoulder well, same machines. One of my friend in India has recently started a clinic. He shared his pictures on Facebook. I saw it. It's still unchanged. Those 3-4 beds, curtains, and machines. The machines are same. So it is very painful. The changes in the industry is happening all around, is happening so fast, but our industry is not changing with the same pace. So who will change it? We will change it. We will be innovative people. Will change it. Some of us will step forward. Will focus on our strengths and innovate it. It's possible, and we'll have to do it. There's no other way. Nobody else would come and do it for us. The great example is yoga. Yoga 20 years back, yoga was a very yogic exercise limited to certain people. Only people who are into yogic science. It's a part of a naturopathy. It was not very famous. But now, if you go to any part of the world, like 2 months back, I was in Spain, a very small village of Spain, and there you have a beautiful yoga center. So and who has done it? Mr. Baba Ramdev. Baba Ramdev has commercialized. He has branded the yoga in such a way it has become a very popular science all over the world now. Similarly, we need the push in the physiotherapy profession, which I personally feel, you can counter me saying it wrong, but I personally see industry need a push from like-minded people from us who take a risk, be visionary, and bring it to the next level. let us quickly see. Now, this is based on my experience and what I have seen around the world, that what is in demand and which has not been addressed. So we need to innovate our skills and exploit it. So now physiotherapy clinics is great. I mean, we cannot change much into the electrotherapy and exercise therapy, but we are missing on the diagnostic part. For example, a patient goes to a physician and say, I have a pain in my stomach. Now, what we do as a physiotherapist now, if you imagine if somebody comes with back pain, we do some physical test and then we give them exercise and electrotherapy, fantastic. But we do not get into detailed analysis or the detailed assessment of it. Whereas we have the technology available, we have resources available to do a detailed analysis, detailed analysis up to the level of your joint movement. So like in case of the abdominal pain, the ideal way is the physician would send a patient to an ultrasound guy. He will scan it and will find out, okay, the pain is not in the kidney, it's in your gut. Similarly, if we involve the detailed analysis of the problem, we can understand the patient better and we can serve them better. So technology is available. Now, this clinics can be independent clinic specifically for biomechanical gait and posture analysis, or it can be a part of a clinic. So this is how we need to change the process of the things which is happening. Either you create a completely new entity chain of clinics or add these clinics into existing physiotherapy clinics. Okay, what is trending? The most trending thing what I have seen in Europe now is EMS studios. EMS is nothing but somebody has transformed our small our stimulators, the galvanic stimulators. The people have created an EMS out of it. It is called electromagnetic stimulation. It is same concept. Everything is same. Only thing is, it comes with a wearable belts which you wear in different muscle group, and there is a handheld device which is basically designing the flow of current. So it's like it is used for the athletic training. For example, if I have to do abdominal workout for a golfer, a core exercise for the golfer, so you wear the belts here, you wear the belts on the arms, and then the program designs the current in such a way that as if your muscles are working out in the indoor setup without using any machine. So electrotherapy is used as an EMS studios now, and very popular. All the major cities in Europe now is flooded with such clinics and giving excellent results. Athlete, and especially the sportsmen, love it. You don't have to be training outside. You train yourself within the enclosure of like a small room, and excellent thing. This can be promoted in India as well. It is a huge market, and only thing is how we package it and sell it. It depends, but this has a huge potential as well as my knowledge is concerned. Now, clinic for special population, diabetic clinic, hypertension clinic, antenatal postnatal clinic, geriatric clinic. Now, what happens? Something very comical here is a diabetic patient or a hypertension patient goes to doctor, physician, and physician write them medicine and say you should walk. You should walk. You should improve your health. You should improve your physical fitness. What usually patient do is they go to walk, but they are not told how much to walk, when to walk, and how to walk, isn't it? Now, who are the people who will tell them? We as physiotherapists, we have learned, we know what is metabolic requirement. What happens when you run, what are your muscle, how do your muscle respond when you walk, what is conditioning, what is muscle load, we understand it. So it is we who will design the program for such people that you should walk for 15 minutes at this pace, and then you should take break for 1 minute, and then so you are the people who can design or prescribe the exercise, isn't it? We can help diabetic, hypertension, antenatal, postnatal, and geriatric patient in such in a huge manner, which they are not getting now. So there's a huge lacuna which is existing in the market. There is no specialist who is available to tell diabetic and hypertension patient that what exercise they should do and how they should do it. It is the responsibility of our physiotherapists. We see there's a market potential, we should grab it, isn't it? And it is accessible. Okay, the next industry which I feel is still not not very well explored is corporate wellness, living centers, alternative therapies. This market is huge, and let me tell you, this market is huge, and who is taking advantage of this market is people who have done certificate course in fitness, people who have done certificate course in nutrition. they are exploiting it and earning money out of it. And most of the big corporates are getting into wellness industry now. We physiotherapists are just seeing it from outside and not getting involved into it. Why can't we get into it? We have studied everything what is required to execute this in a professional manner. We understand muscles anatomy, we understand biomechanics, we understand exercise science, we understand electrotherapy better than anybody else. It is we who should be taking lead in it, not somebody else from outside. Now, you talk about VLCC. VLC is a big corporate now, big corporate business now. VLCC, if you'll go to them and see what they do, they have nothing but, they have electrical equipment, which are nothing but, stimulators, which they use as a belt on the belly, and then they design exercise, and then they put it as a nutrition, create a package and sell it. Whereas, people who complains of paying to physiotherapy, 500, 1,000 rupees, they pay thousands of rupees to VLCC for the process of slimming. I think it is the responsibility of physical therapist to explore this market. It is we who should be taking lead here, not somebody else. So huge potential in this industry as well. Musculoskeletal clinic. Now, this is again a very huge market. People travel all over. Like I know some people who travel to Thailand to get their muscular pain done. I know some players who travel to Thailand just for this. In the very cheap or the low language, you can call it as a massage center, but these are basically, when we talk about technically, these are different form of releases what physiotherapists have learned in his course of studies. Deep tissue release, trigger point release, myofascial therapies, mobilization techniques, cupping, taping, and needle painting. These are all the therapies which we know. And we should practice, and we should create market out of it. Huge potential, very niche market. People pay for it. Only thing is we need to repackage our treatment policies and sell it. Outreach mobile care units. Okay, outreach mobile care units. There's an excellent way of reaching to people where the facilities are not available. This concept is also very famous now, especially in the African countries I've seen, where you create resources, take it to the people who need it. Now, when I'm taking this example, these are all the question comes to your mind is that these are clinics. Physiotherapists are already running clinics, so why you have put this into entrepreneurial thing? Okay, I have put this into entrepreneurial thing because I want you guys to understand that running a clinic wherein your income is directly proportional to your time given is a different thing. But the entrepreneurial mindset is you create an environment, you create a setup wherein not necessarily you are involved into it. For example, if you're running a clinic or you are doing a job, you are getting paid for your time. Suppose I spend 12 hours in my clinic, I earn for my 12 hours, whatever patients I see, I'm earning. That's a business model, but being an entrepreneur, you can create innovation into it. You can create a chains of businesses. You can create your own laboratory concept where you hire people to run it, and you replicate this concept in different clinics and hospitals. So what happens? Your money generation is not directly involved on the time you spend. Yeah, initially it will be till you come to a state, but after that, your money is getting generated through a people or a team or a process you have created. And then you don't have to spend, your money is not directly involved to your time. For example, if I have created, like, for example, now I have my own business. So if I want to go for a vacation for 2 months, yeah, it's possible. It will not completely seize my income. My income will still continue to generate because I have created a system, I have created a business where other people are working for me, and services what I have created is been provided, and business is getting generated, and the income is getting generated. So this is the difference between running a normal clinic and doing a business with an entrepreneurial process. You create environment and a earning potential out of a concept. So this is the difference what we need to understand. And many more, like runners care, foot care, pediatric neuro, sports rehabilitations are the concepts which are still missing in the market. I think the picture is not the right one here. Okay, this is the one here. The runners care, foot care, pediatric neuro, and the pictures whatever I have put here are the actual pictures which of the existing clinics which are performing, right? So there are foot clinics. There are there are sports clinic, rehabilitation clinic, which are already operational and doing very well, which has not been explored to its potential in India, I feel. And we, as a physiotherapist students, we as a physiotherapist professionals can explore this market. The only thing is we need to understand how to package it into a form of an appealing product for the customer or a service for the customer, and how to replicate it, how to do it wherein your time is not directly related to your income generation. Okay, the other one is service and facility management. This is one of my business, what I do. I have a pool of physiotherapists and trainers with me, and then we provide services to third party clinic, hospitals, sports clubs, school, colleges, NGOs. We work for them. So we are basically like IT industry in India. Most of the IT industry in India is outsourced to European and American companies. Similarly, you can create your own pool of skilled staff, and you can outsource the services. Okay, now designing and innovation. We have been using all the exercise therapy equipment, all the accessories of like the TheraBands, say medicine balls, weight cuffs, orthotics for the arch support. You talk about the braces, what we use. This can be, the same conventional thing has been happening. Somebody else is designing for us, and we can do it for ourselves. Why not? We have all the knowledge. Only thing required is we should hire a proper technical staff who is a designer, a proper technical staff who can help us in IT works, and we can create it by ourselves. It's possible, isn't it? Now, what does it take to create TheraBand? TheraBand, now the conventional TheraBands are of different shape and size, but have you ever thought that something more better can be done when it comes to elastic therapy, elastic bands are concerned? Yeah, there are. Actually, I'm working on one of the project wherein I'm designing an elastic band, which will be much affordable, which will be much, with a varied resistance level in the same belt, and it's possible to do it. So we can put our energies and our knowledge into designing and innovating something new for the market, isn't it? It's possible. We can, if we put your thought into it, it's definitely possible. Okay, now very important subject is information technology. Very simple. Being a student also, you can do this. Create a course, for example, say a back pain course. Make a 30 minutes, 40 minutes course, either in form of video or either in form of a slideshow, and upload it on a website like Coursera, Skillshare, wherein anybody who buy your package, he will pay you for the package. If you just go on the website like Skillshare and search for back pain care. Recently, I've seen one course which is worth $15, I believe. Yeah, and then almost 700 people have already downloaded it, paid for it. So just imagine being a student, instead of using your social media and wasting time, that you can upload your content, and sell it on the e-commerce website, on the course sharing websites. You can create videos for the knowledge sharing. You can earn out of the revenue from the YouTube channels, or even if you're not with the intention of earning money out of it, at least spreading the awareness of your field, spreading this awareness regarding the physiotherapy. What are the potentials available? You can write ebooks. You can make informative videos. Huge. This information technology is huge, and a lot of things can be done here. And in fact, some of the students can suggest what best can be done in this industry. But I want you to realize that there is a huge potential available in the information technology, which we should explore. Sports and fitness industry is my favorite. The sports clinic, athletic training and rehabilitation, sports club, fitness centers with clinical supervision and celebrity care. So it has huge money. Only thing is we need to do it technically. For example, in your city, go to a sports training institute, go to Sports Authority of India, or go to sports club, local football club, cricket club, basketball club. Offer them service. You can help them not only in rehabilitation. You can help them in designing the training program. You can help them in improvising the VO2 max, METs, and there are gadgets available. There are devices available to do the assessment, which I have hardly seen in any of the local clubs in India. But this device is very important. Unless and until you don't do proper analysis, you cannot design an exercise prescription for anybody. Unless and until I don't know what is the VO2 max of a client, of a sports person at the beginning of the session, how do I design my exercise to improvise on it? There are yo-yo tests, there are fitness tests, there are flexibility tests, a lot of it. As a physiotherapist, we are professional if we have studied it. And if we have not studied enough in our studies, we can definitely take up the bridging course to understand more of it and start our career, our business into this field. It's available. This is what I do. This is what we have our own studios and clinics, and we help sportsmen to develop their physical performance. The list can be long. I mean, time is a constraint, but the list can be long. The more you think, the more it can be done. What I have jotted down here is the list, what I feel is the immediate hot opportunities. But the more thought process you put into it, you will find number of other opportunities are available which are untapped. And all of us can think on it and we can do it. Time is a constraint. I also wanted to give time for question and answer. So I think I can wrap up my session here.
Sir, a few of our students have put some questions, sir, here. So they are asking here, sir, what is the downside of entering sports entrepreneurship for physical therapists? Okay.
The downside for any entrepreneurship, not only for sports entrepreneurship, the downside is it has a risk. It has a risk of getting failed, which is there in any clinic, any business. For example, if you start a clinic, many of the clinics starts and closes. Not only with physiotherapists, it's also with the case with the physicians, the surgeons when they start the hospital and it fails. So the downside is only that there is a risk involved, which is always there. But unless and until you don't take the risk, you will never see what is there on the other side of the story. So as such, downside is nothing. Only thing is you probably will not be able to spend much time in your clinical practice. That could be a downside. But if you don't want to put yourself 100% involved, what you can do is you can create a system. You can hire right people and let them operate on behalf of you. So otherwise, there is no downside as I have experienced ever. In fact, that has made me a better physiotherapist because I can relate to both patients and non-patients.
Yes, sir. So another question is, sir, we'll quickly go through the questions. Yes, sir, please. How to enter the sports industry as an entrepreneur?
Okay, my suggestion would be before getting into sports industry as an entrepreneur, you should get into sport industry as a physical therapist. You can join a sport club, you can join a sport team as a physical therapist. If required, offer free service. Like in India, most of the clubs do not have enough funds to hire a physiotherapist, but now sports is improving in India. Now we have IPL teams. Each IPL team have 3 physiotherapists, a senior physiotherapist and 2 assistant physiotherapists. We have football clubs now. Now PSL series, the Premier Sports League and Football League in India, all the clubs have physiotherapists. A couple of my friends are working as a physiotherapist in sports club. So my suggestion would be to enter as a physiotherapist in the sports industry first, understand the need, see where the opportunity lies and then tap it.
Yes, sir. Sir, are there any sports business ideas for physical therapy graduates and postgraduates? So small ideas.
Many. Just a simple example. Start a company. Okay. Start a company. Hire 2 sports trainers. Right, 2 sports trainers. Go to sports club and say, I have trainers. I am a physical therapist. We will do an assessment. We'll provide the fitness program. We'll provide the nutrition program for you. And this is what I'll charge. Just an example. Yes. As an opportunity. You can create a content. You can create a video on how to treat, for example, a small like shin pain. Usually people who run new sportsmen. So shin split plane is very common. So just make a small video of 30 minutes. Hire a good videographer. Make a good video. Post it on Coursera. Put it on Skillshare. People will buy it. You never know. People sitting in Africa. People sitting in say it's a small country in Europe. They buy your course and they will learn out of it. Yes. So opportunity is huge. It's all depends on how much brain you put into this segment of business which we have never tapped. The opportunity is excellent. I mean, there's no doubt about it. I mean, you can be in touch with me. I can help you if any of the student wants to be to get into it.
Sir, and one more question, sir. What challenges did you have to overcome at the beginning of this journey?
Yeah, which everybody has is one is the funding. The finance was the challenge. Second challenge which I faced was hiring the right people. Like when I started my business, I wanted good staff with me, but good staff comes with high demand of salary, which is acceptable, which I did not have to pay. So initially in my business, I had to do everything. I was the one who was doing the assessment also. I was the one who was going for the marketing also. I was the one who was sometimes delivering the products also. We had a small product zone wherein we used to supply accessories for the sportsmen. So I used to deliver also. So the challenge would be to have enough fund in beginning, and you will not have enough team if you are not financially sound. You will not have enough team to help you in different processes. So like I created my website. I used to handle my social media page. So when you come back from the home, from the work, you're tired and you still have to answer people on Instagram of the questions they have. So this is the challenge you have. But then if you are passionate enough, you have enough of fire in you that you have to do it, you will do it. But this is the challenge I have faced personally. Yeah.
Sir, I think we'll stop with the questions here, sir. So do you have anything to ask us, sir?
No, I have a thing to ask you is to all the students, my suggestion, it's not about asking, it's about the suggestion that physiotherapy is an excellent field. Therapists have an advantage that from day one they can practice their language. Most of the engineers do not have the liberty of doing it. And we should be very proud of what we are learning, and we should be very proud of, you guys should be very proud that you are learning it from a very good institute. So there are a lot of negativity which happens in the field, a lot of people speak very negative about the field, but we should know that this is an unexplored field still in India. And when there is anything unexplored, the potential is huge. So we have huge potential in our field of physiotherapy. You just need to connect to right people. You just need to connect to the right thought process, and you will make out of it. And there's a huge potential. Just be very confident and do it. Yeah.
Sir, I'll start with my vote of thanks now, sir. Sir, I would like to thank our resource person for the day, Dr. Parvet Sheikh, who also happens to be my senior in college. Yeah. He had always inspired us back then when we were his juniors. And then today, he has inspired all of us who are present today for the webinar. Thank you, sir. Despite of having such a busy schedule, you kindly consented to do this for us. And our college, SMCPT, can't thank you enough for your cooperation and flexibility during the build-up of this webinar, sir. I would also like to thank our Vice Chancellor, Sir SMU Lieutenant General Dr. Rajan S. Grewal, and Dean, Sir SMIMS, Professor Dr. Murlidhar Pai, for providing us with his continuous mentorship. I would like to thank our Principal Madam SMCPT, Professor Dr. Nikita Joshi Sonowal, for her meticulous guidance, experience, and leadership to make this event a possibility and success. I would like to extend my thank you to our most valuable department of IT, SMU, for their continuous support and going beyond duty hours to make this event possible. I thank all my esteemed colleagues for your valuable input and cooperation in planning and executing this webinar. Last but not the least, I would thank all my students for participating with so much enthusiasm. Thank you all.
I have a very quick thing to to announce here, Vinita, if you allow me to do so.
Yes, sir, sure, sir.
Yeah, I mean, I am open that, I want to give an offer to all the students who are listening here, as like, if they have any unique idea, yes, any innovative idea in terms of entrepreneurship in the field of sports and physiotherapy, I'm open to listen to it. I can help them to, develop it. I can help them to find out the resources required in financing and the knowledge, whatever is required. And yes, we can collectively work on it. If you have any unique idea, please do share. We can collectively.
Thank you so much for providing an opportunity for our graduates and postgraduates, sir. That would be a wonderful, wonderful thing for them.
Okay.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you all. Yeah.
Yes, sir. We'll conclude the program here.
Please.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Sir, I'll send the e-certificate to you by mail, sir.
All right. Thank you very much.
Yes. Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Take care. Bye-bye.